All right, guys, super exciting news, at least for me. Today, AspenMics has finally released the Sennheiser LAV mics. Now, they actually listed that on the site months and months and months ago, probably like more than 8 months ago, but they were never available. And I was kind of curious as why they weren't available, and it was because of wireless interference issues. Now, previously when I talked about AspenMics, some guys were asking about another set of mics called JK mics right here. So JK actually sells a Sennheiser microphone as well, and theirs is actually cheaper. So what, 30 bucks, I believe. So I went ahead and ordered one of these JK mics a little while ago, and as you can see, this is my original Sennheiser G3 series. A lot of guys have this. Almost everybody has one of these in their kit. And you can see my mic is kind of tore up here. It's kind of bent, and I'm afraid that it's going to go one day. So if it does, I'm kind of screwed. Now, you can't beat the replacement mic of a true Sennheiser. This is like the best bet. But it's always great to have some sort of backup microphone. So the AspenMics now sells one. Again, JK has one for 30 bucks. But again, I was kind of curious, why didn't AspenMics have one earlier? Why didn't they have it available? And noticing the difference between the build quality, the JK mics uses a thinner cable. I measured it. It's about 1.6 millimeters. The Aspen Sennheiser for wireless has over 2 millimeters. I think like 2.2 millimeters or 2.3, which is the exact same thickness as the original Sennheiser. So I believe this is for insulating RFI, EMI, or any kind of interference that you might get through a LAV system. So just to show you, I'm going to disconnect this original Sennheiser LAV mic. We're going to throw on this JK here. Now I have this Sennheiser set up to my Zoom H6 over here. So we're actually going to switch back to this audio over here. And you probably hear some fumbling while I'm moving this LAV mic around. But let me show you what happens if you're using a LAV mic on a wireless system. They're very prone to wireless interference. That's why you just don't buy cheap wireless systems. You buy a good one because you don't want the wireless interference. Now, when you add a LAV mic that's not set up properly on a wireless system, you actually get even more interference. So let me show you what happens when we bring it over to a power source. So here on a TV, if I can hear this. If I bring it over to the television set, so I don't know if you guys could hear that, but there's a lot of noise going on as I bring it to the power of the television. So if I bring it over to this light, so there's a current running through this light as well. So you hear that noise. And that's one of the problems is even though the mic may sound decent, it becomes more prone to wireless interference. So let's switch to this Aspen here. All right, test. Okay, so we have the Aspen mic set up over here. Now let me bring it over to the TV. All right, so no noise. We'll bring it over to this one here. No noise. So there you go. That is the reason why there was such a delay on the Sennheiser version of the Aspen mics is wireless interference is a big issue. And it appears that they have the correct insulation now, the correct cabling going so that you don't run into those problems. Now, the Aspen mics is a little bit more expensive than, say, a JK, which, you know, for most people, you can barely distinguish the sound quality. But if you don't want to have any issues with wireless interference, you want to go with at least a decent microphone. If possible, get the OEM Sennheiser. You can't beat this. This is going to be the best that's going to work best with your Sennheiser G3. But as a backup microphone, the Aspen mics works great as well. So anyways, let's switch back to the Aspen Sennheiser mic, and then we'll do a sound test between the original Sennheiser and the Aspen mic, and you guys determine what the difference sounds like, whether it's worthy or not. But certainly at probably less than half the price, I find this a good thing to have as a backup, because if your mic breaks while you're on a project, you know, that could be pretty devastating. So it's good to have a couple of backup microphones for your Sennheiser kit. Anyways, let's get that set up, and then we'll do a sound test and see which one sounds better. Okay guys, now we have the Aspen Sennheiser lav mic set up, and we have the OEM Sennheiser lav mic set up. I do have both of my G3s here. Sensitivity on each one of these is set up exactly the same. The AF out is exactly the same. And here I'm trying to match the levels on the Zoom H6. I do notice that the Aspen, my setting has to be kind of a little bit above 5 on the XLR. When I'm using the XLR, I have to bring the Aspen mic up a little bit above 5 for the input. And over here on the OEM Sennheiser, I'm at 5. So the Aspen requires a little bit more gain. I don't know what this sounds like right now. I don't, but hopefully the volume is going to be the same. You may hear a difference in sound quality. I don't know. This is my first time actually doing a test side by side. So I'm just doing this for you guys to hear, and hopefully the sound quality is decent for you guys to determine whether it's something to use or not. But again, they finally released this wireless lav mic. It took so long because I guess wireless interference was an issue. No longer an issue, so now available. Anyways, if you have any questions about this stuff, check it out at the blog, cheesycam.com. Again, Aspen mics, great backup lav mic for your Sennheiser. Works fine, no interference. Same cable thickness as the OEM Sennheiser, if that makes a difference. But that's it. Any questions? cheesycam.com.